Another day, another Saturn core update on MiSTer. SRG 320 has been hard at work delivering the goods. So I thought it was high time I revisited the Saturn core to see what progress has been made with the latest release from 16th November 2022. Well, actually, you guys pretty unanimously told me to cover it again, so thanks for that. I really do appreciate all your input helping me grow this channel into something special. Special. And with a number of comments on my previous Saturn videos asking me to look at some Japanese stuff, I'll do that as well. So go ahead, paint your Saturn grey or white, grab your Boots sushi meal deal, and perform your best P-Dan Nidan. Let's go. So first things first, let's get the latest core installed. I'll show you how to do it. I recommend running update all on your MiSTer first of all, and once that's done, head over to SRG 320's GitHub page. Make sure you sign into GitHub. I'll leave a link in the description. From here, click on Saturn_MiSTer, scroll down and click on single SD RAM if that's what you have. If you have dual RAM, good for you, do that. The top release is the latest, and here we can see it's test build number 8. And at the bottom you'll find a link to the RBF or core file. Once you've downloaded that, get onto your MiSTer. I'm using FTP, so I'll head over to the MiSTer folder and select FAT, then put the RBF you just downloaded into the console folder. If you happen to have an older version of the Saturn core, you can go ahead and delete it if you want. That's what I did. And if you need a BIOS, go ahead and grab one of those and put it in your Saturn game directory. So the past few weeks have seen quite a few updates to the core which have improved compatibility with a number of titles. That's good. All of my testing was done on a MiSTer with one board of RAM, so you can get a good idea of what's working and what's not with that particular configuration. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, some stats. Out of the 204 games tested, 7 don't boot still at all, 43 boot but don't get to the main menu. 24 get to the menu but then crash or are otherwise unplayable for one reason or another. 15 are playable but then crash. So you play it for a bit and then you can't. 7 will get to the game, they don't crash but are still unplayable, so they've got like game breaking bugs. So that leaves a massive 108 titles that are playable with the latest build. If you compare that to my last round of testing when I looked at 180 games, I think, that's 23 more. 23 more games playable. Yeah, alright, I tested like 23 more, but not all of them were running. So some of the ones that didn't work before are now working, which you'll see. That's incredible progress. It must be noted at this point that when I say playable, I mean you can load the game, you can play it and it shouldn't crash, but there may still be graphical issues and certainly problems with sound. So just overlook that a little bit. It's just where we are. That's the price you pay for being on the cutting edge of technology. But it's still great to see progress. Don't stand in the way of progress. Yeah, so 53% of games tested are now playable, which is an increase of 6% over last time when I tested 180. Yeah, last time 47% were playable. Now it's 53, so it's going up. Some standout titles which are now playable include FIFA 97. It plays well, but I'm still not very good at it. You can now play Independence Day if you want. Met Warrior 2 is playing pretty well. Same with Shockwave Assault. This barely booted at all and now it's running really nicely. Solar Eclipse joins the playable ranks along with The Crow. This is going to happen sooner or later. Probably one of my least favourite games of all time, but progress is progress.
Don't stand in the way of progress.
Except when it's The Crow. We also have some heavy hitting titles like Rayman, which plays beautifully. Daytona USA? This used to crash a lot, but the last couple of builds have fixed that problem. There's still some graphical issues to work out, but otherwise, yeah, it's looking pretty good. House of the Dead! House of the Dead! Yeah, this isn't great with the gamepad to be honest, but with Snack likely due sometime down the line, it's going to, well, still not be a very good game, probably, but you'd be able to use the Virtua Gun, which is definitely the preferred way to play. Superbike Racer Manx TT is solid. You can fire up Tempest 2000 and have some fun with it now it's running on the latest core. A few other new games tested that are playable are Dark Legend, Dark Saviour, Gun Griffin, Highway 2000, Minnesota Fats Pool, which reminds me a lot of Side Pocket, and it's made by Data East. It probably is Side Pocket, basically. Dragon Force, and popular RPG Legend of Oasis. A bit of a surprise here is Wipeout. This didn't load for the longest time. It just wouldn't get into the game, and now it's running great. Really, really good. I'm personally not very familiar with the Saturn port, but it's a really good version, and I think I might even prefer it over the PS1 release, the one that most people are likely familiar with. It just feels really solid on the Saturn. I don't know what it is. I'll have to take a closer look at that. So with all that out of the way, what about the Japanese titles? Well, a load of you on my last video about the Saturn core commented with some recommendations of Japanese games I should take a look at. So I looked at them, all of them, or at least the ones I could get working. So thanks for that. So what worked and what didn't? Let's have a look. Honestly, quite a lot I tested from the Japanese library didn't work too well. This included popular games like the Donpachis, Radiant Silvergun and Police Noughts. A few that did work were Elevator Action Returns. This is a really fun version of the classic arcade game, and it's playing pretty well. Smattering of shooters that are working well are Guardian Force, Salamander Deluxe and Gradius Deluxe Pack, Battle Gurega, and Batsugun. An interesting falling block puzzler called Kururin Pa. I've never played it before, but it was fun and it's playing well. Yeah, it's worth a look. And last but by no means least is Gale Racer, aka Radmobile. Radmobile! Radmobile! Radmobile, albeit with some minor graphical issues. But all in all, I think we can see just how far the core has come in a reasonably short period of time. I started covering this back in September and it's come on leaps and bounds. Although it takes me quite a while to go through all these games, I'm having a fun time doing it, and I get a bit of a buzz every time one that wasn't playable becomes playable, or I see some progress in one way or another. I've not covered all the playable titles in this particular video with one stick of RAM, but as before, I'll put a montage at the end with all 108 so you can have a look and see if your favourite is there. Yeah, have a look. I think my personal favourite this week is Wipeout. I got so used to it not loading into the game that it was really exciting when it finally did. So yeah, great work Sergi, SRG 320, thank you. If you've got dual RAM in your MiSTer, then good. You'll probably enjoy better compatibility, but for most of us with just single RAM, this is currently what you can play right now. I've left a link to my spreadsheet with all the results in the description, so you can go and look for yourself and see if a particular game that you're interested in is working. And if you've got any suggestions of other games I can look at next time there's a new core release, let me know in the comments. I read everything, honestly. I read everything you guys send me, and I'm really grateful for the feedback and suggestions and random comments that you leave. Honestly, it's great, thank you. So as always, I'll leave you a montage of the 108 playable games. That's my symbol for 108, I guess. 108 games playable on the latest 16th November Saturn core for MiSTer. Bye.